The last time I was in this gym, I got to count every light on this ceiling. Some Apple Valley wrestler named Mike Langwis was wearing me out on the wrestling mat. He'd throw me to my back, get 5 points, pick me up by the hair, throw me back to my back, 5 more points. I did notice back then that one of the lights over here was burnt out, so I'm glad to see it's fixed. So when Mr. Dagenar and Mr. Buesgens asked me to be the guest speaker today, I was a little bit nervous coming back here because I heard you still have a pretty good Apple Valley wrestling team. But Pete said if I didn't accept, he'd tell Dad on me, and I didn't want to get in trouble. But in reality, I'm truly humbled to be your speaker here today for Veterans Day celebration. Fellow veterans in the audience, thank you for your service and your attendance here today. Well, this morning I thought I would speak on a word that has been tossed around lately, and in some cases misused to meet the speaker's definition: patriotism. What a powerful word, yet sometimes confusing to its meaning. This past Memorial Day, I traveled to 3 separate cemeteries with 5 of my high school JROTC cadets, and I thought about this word patriotism. What is a patriot? What does being patriotic mean? What is patriotism? Is it reserved for those who have fought and died for our country that we recognize during Memorial Day? Is it reserved for those currently serving our country or those veterans in the audience? Aren't these young cadets who gave up their holiday to recognize our fallen heroes not practicing patriotism? Basic definition of patriotism is, quote, a love and devotion to one's country. Now, surely this definition falls on every soldier, Marine, sailor, Coast Guardman, and airman. However, patriotism is not a word solely owned by members of the military. Let me tell you a story about a man named Mr. William Bill Crawford. Mr. Crawford was one of these military patriots, yet what he did after his service to his country is equally patriotic. While in the Army, Private Crawford was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for actions taken during a battle near Altavilla, Italy. Yet when Bill left the service, he took a job as a janitor at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Bill lived his life, raised his family, continued to produce for his country, telling no one about his medal and his accomplishments, and never asking for anything in return. Years passed before anyone at the academy knew that Bill was the recipient of the Medal of Honor. He told no one, simply went about his duties as a janitor. This man's love of his country and desire to do what is right is the epitome of a patriotic American. Think of the father of 9 children, speaking of my dad right now, a military veteran, who went to work every day, sometimes holding 2 jobs, just to care for his family, never taking assistance, never asking for help when times got hard, but accepting the responsibility of being a father and a husband. Is this man a patriot? Not only did Dad and Mom demonstrate love of country and patriotism by their actions, they brought their children up demonstrating the work ethics and lifestyles all Americans should emulate. They had 3 sons retire from the military, 6 kids who received college degrees, 4 high school teachers, all married, all raising their own little patriots. Patriotism isn't reserved just for the men. Is a mother who fights each day to instill the values and the morals of our nation into her children not acting patriotic? During World War II, it was the women who held the basic fabric of our country together, running the factories while supplying our armed forces with the equipment to win the war. That's patriotism. Recently, I attended a funeral of an American patriot. While meeting with some of the local veterans, I had the privilege to meet a World War II tank driver under General Patton's brigade. I met a soldier who served in Korea in 1952, some of the most horrific battles of the war. I met Marines and airmen who fought at the Republic of Vietnam during the Tet Offenses. All these people gave to their country, left the service, and continued to produce. A patriot is the steel mill worker, the coal miner, the farmer, the Ford plant assembly line worker. A patriot is a small business owner who takes the risks, employing half a dozen Americans who keep this country running. The patriot are the singers who perform the songs that instill the deep-seated pride in America, the songs that fill our hearts with the complete love and devotion to one's country. Apple Valley High School is a great example of patriotism by what you do for your school, your city, and your state every day. Out of this school, you have produced business and financial leaders, professional athletes, college all-stars in academics, in sports, and in music. Every day one can pick up the paper, the local paper, and witness the great things happening here at Apple Valley. And in my opinion, that's patriotism. As we recognize our veterans today, thank them, yes, but I ask you to try to live your lives as patriotic Americans, regardless of where you go or regardless of what you do. This act alone is the biggest thanks you can give our veterans. Most believe that America is the land of the free, the home of the brave, the greatest, most generous, and freest nation on earth. Let us do our part and keep it that way by acting as patriotic Americans. Thank you very much, and may God bless each and every one of you.